Final segment here with Associate Head Coach Jeff Hourigan, where we'll talk about the infielders as we preview the 2018 UConn baseball season. Coach, you have three returning infielders, Anthony Prado, Chris Winkle, and Connor Moriarty. Can you talk a little bit about those guys and how they've developed heading from their freshman season now into their sophomore year?
Absolutely. First off, those three guys, they got some great experience last year. They were kind of thrown into the fire right away. When you play in the American Conference as a freshman, it is not an easy thing, and all three of those guys handled themselves very well. So I'm really excited. They seem like each of them are maturing in their game, and they've taken their game. They're making the next step. Anthony Prado obviously had an outstanding freshman year, hit over 300, had to play shortstop in this conference, and he did a really solid job. He battled through some minor injuries last year, which kind of slowed him down. I really felt like he could have been a 330 hitter. That's how well he was playing the first half of the year, and then a couple of those injuries slowed him down. But he's a guy that's not going to pull himself out of a game. I mean, we literally have to tell him, Anthony, you need to take a day. And you love that. You love that in a kid. He wants to play. He wants to compete. But he looks like he's taken another step in terms of his strength. He was able to drive the ball this fall, which was really great to see. He was more of a singles hitter last year with the occasional pop. But I think Anthony's got a great swing. He's got a great approach. And he's going to be able to stretch the field. He's going to be able to hit some doubles and triples and the occasional home run. And then when he gets on base, I know his stolen base total was around 15 or 16 last year, but I think he can be a 30-bag guy with his savvy and with his speed. So we're really excited about Anthony. Connor Moriarty, again, had some really great moments last year, and then he had his freshman moments like any other freshman. But what Connor shows you, he's got the physical tools. He hit a big home run against Houston in a game that we really needed to kind of, I think it was the Sunday game, to get out of there with a win. It was a clutch home run. He came up with clutch hits against Fairfield in a midweek game. I think he had 3 knocks, a 2-strike knock that drove in a couple guys. So he flashes that ability, and he's looked like, from the fall to now, he just looks like he's in a better place in the box. He works extremely hard on his own time, like the majority of our guys, and I think he's primed to have a really nice season. From a defensive standpoint for Connor, probably going to see a lot of time at third base, but he can play shortstop, he can play second base. If you needed to throw him in the outfield, he can play outfield. He has a great arm, but I think third base is going to be his key position for us this year. Chris Winkle, I touched upon him a little bit in the outfield segment, but at first base, you know, if you're an infielder thrown over there, you love that target. He has the highest vertical leap on our team, so not many balls are going to get by him, and he just covers a ton of ground. He's got tremendous feel over there, so it's a nice little comfort zone for those infielders knowing that he's over there. And then, like I said, offensively for Chris, he's got the ability to drive the baseball. He's worked really hard, like Connor Moriarty. They're probably best buddies when it comes to getting their swings in, but they take their work very serious, and I love that about them. So I think he's really primed to make another jump.
And you have a bunch of newcomers, Vinny Polisco from UConn Avery Point, a transfer, and then freshmen with Christian Fedko, Andy Haig. You have Luke Broadhurst and Matt Bonvicini. Just touch on those newcomers entering their first year at UConn.
Sure. I'll start with Vinny. Vinny is a UConn Avery Point guy, a Connecticut kid that came over to us this year. And the thing I love about Vinny is he's got some power with the bat, and he's also got the ability to really hit. Last year at UConn Avery Point, which is a great program, he hit well into the 300s, I think over 350 with a little bit of power. So that's an experience right there. That's a guy that's facing college level kids, and he's come over. He had a really nice fall. I think in an alumni game, he crushed one, a double to kind of put the game away. So he's got that ability to stretch the field for us. So he'll be in the mix at first base. He'll be in the mix to come off the bench. pinch hit. He'll be in the mix for DH. So I really like what I've seen from him. The freshman, Christian Fedko, is I've used this term a couple times in the other segments, but he's an energy guy. He's a guy that he shows up ready to go. He loves to talk the game. He's engaged at all times, and he's an absolute competitor in the box. If there's a bad call by the ump and he thinks it, he's going to let them know. Now we got to work on, trying to stay within yourself and not getting too carried away. But I like that. I like that in a kid. I like that he's very passionate about it. And he had a nice fall for us. He shows the ability to hit for some power. He had he was down with his weight this fall, and he's gotten his weight back up, and he looks strong. And he had an excellent high school career, and I think he's going to be able to help us out, whether it's at second base, third base, DH. You might be able to throw him in left depending on how well he's hitting, but he's gonna give us a boost. Matt Bonvicini is another freshman for us. He's in that first base DH mix. He's a local kid, a Connecticut guy. He's a guy that I've heard about for a long time. My brother's a high school coach in the state, and he had to face him, too many times. And he doesn't think Matt Bonvicini ever got out. And I think he walked over 30 times his senior year in high school. And you could see it. You could see it in the box from him in the fall. He just knows how to hit. I go with the Bobby Melly comparison as well. He can hit for some power, and he just has a knack for putting the barrel on the ball. So we're really excited about him. Defensively, he's got to just continue to work. He turned a nice double play in our scrimmage yesterday, but I think that will come with work. Andy Haig is another local guy, Amity High School kid, and he's that little guy that can fly around the field. Defensively, you'll watch him play, and he'll make some outstanding plays. And he has a pretty strong arm for a little guy, and he could play second, he could play short, he could play third. Offensively, he struggled a little bit in the fall, but he's looked really good in these winter workouts. So I'm really excited about what he can bring to the table. Luke Broadhurst is a guy that played most of the fall but had a shoulder injury, and we weren't really anticipating him being back, but he's done a great job with his rehab, and he looks really good right now. He can really run. He's physical. He's about 6'2". And he's just trying to get that arm back, but he hit 2 rockets in the scrimmage yesterday for hits, and he's got a lot of ability, and I think the good thing is for Andy, for Christian, for all those freshmen, we don't have to expect too much from them right away with a lot of the veterans we have back. We want them to continue to grow and continue to get better, and then when their moment comes, we want them ready to step in there. But I don't think we're going to have to put a lot of pressure on them to get the job done. So I'm really excited about that young group.
Yeah, and you talk about it, it seems like you guys have a ton of depth in terms of infield, outfield, guys can change, interchangeable. How is that going to work in terms of your lineups the first few weeks of slotting guys in different positions?
Yeah, well, one more guy I do want to talk about is Michael Woodworth. I did talk about him in the outfield segment, but he's another guy that can literally play second, short, or third. And he's very, very headsy. He knows the game really well, and he's got a nice little bat, so he's a great addition. From that depth standpoint, from the lineup standpoint, I like it. I like versatility. I think any coach would say that. You want options. There are certain guys that we're pretty sure we're going to pencil in there, but then it comes down to who's hitting well, who's making plays, and then just guys staying ready to go. I think last year, even though we didn't hit great as a team in terms of average and everything, we still had depth. We had guys that we were bringing in that were getting a lot of experience, guys that were ready to do their job, and I think this group is the same way. I just think now we have a little bit more ability to hit more consistently, and we have a little bit of more power. So when it comes to the lineup, I am switching the lineup up every day to kind of see what those combinations look like. So I like what I see so far.